You guys have been asking for it, and I found one. I bought a $300 car, and on today's episode of Watch JR Go, we're gonna flip it. What is going on, guys? I am Watch JR Go, and today we are here in the 2018 F-250 Platinum from CarMax. It's running good today. I mean, we're not having any issues right now, no check engine lights or anything. We got a car trailer, we got Zach, and we're gonna go get a car. This is an old Buick, and I have no idea what it is. But all I know is it was $300, and they gave me the keys, and they said, come get it whenever you want. Huge thank you to the family I bought it from, because they let me leave it there for like 3 months. Honestly, it's taken that long to find a slot where we could work on this car, and I got some new tools I want to test out. So I'm really excited, and I think hopefully it's an easy fix. And here we have it, my unknown year Buick LeSabre. I really didn't know what this thing was. I saw this car once before. Don't worry about this load. It's on the trailer and it's strapped very, very well. We had to roll it downhill onto the trailer, of course, because it doesn't start and we don't have a winch, and we figured we'd just push it on real fast. So that's what we did. This is a where's our date of manufacture? Oh, right there. A 496, 180,000 mile, I think. I was in here a second ago. 173,000 mile Buick LeSabre Custom with an absolutely beautiful interior. And I saw this car once before when I made the deal. I came down and paid for it about 3 months ago, like I said, and it looked just like this, but it was crawling with ants. Ants over every single centimeter of this hood. They were just everywhere, and I had to get in the car, and that was very, very creepy. Today, it seems like they might all be gone. I don't see any ants. We literally, the whole roof was covered, and you can see that this thing is just absolutely covered with like tree droppings, and this is like pecan tree stuff, and oh man, this car has been through it. So, because of the ants, we came straight to the car wash, and we're going to spend as much money as it takes to get this clean, and I think it'll look brand new. That's the cool thing about this, is after we just high pressure wash this, all the oxidization should come off, and this tree droppings and all that fun stuff that's been breaking down on it for the last year and a half, 2 years that it's been sitting. It's been sitting for a while, they told me. Should come right off, and it should look like a new car, I hope. My expectation is it's nice and white underneath and not grungy at all. So, let's get to cleaning. We're only $7.50 in so far. I was spraying out the cowls and all of the seals like crazy to try to clear all this out. The roof isn't great, but it will clean up. Maybe a quick hit with a clay bar or really anything. All of this will come off. So, a little bit of elbow grease on the roof, but everything else pretty much gone. A little bit on the trunk here. Not bad for $7. It looks like a new car. We just sat here for like 30 miles after I left Winfield, where my buddy Weston lives.
Hey, don't be telling them. I stole this car about 5 minutes ago.
Did you? I was like,
they're right behind me. I'm sure they're looking for it too.
Zach and I were like sitting there just having a conversation, and Zach, we were talking about powder coating some wheels, right? And like Zach's
Don't worry about it.
He's like,
they're gonna get rusty anyway.
He's super into this story, and I was like, dude, a cop just rolled up on us, and he was like,
I didn't roll.
You were
kind of just coasted up
at a speed, and then yeah, so we're just sitting there the whole time with the speed limit like on the cruise control set. The worst part is you came flying up behind us. I was like, man, it's clearly a cop. And then he's like, but the radar detector. And I was like, yeah, but if you're shooting laser, the Uniden is really bad at laser. So I thought like you had
radar.
us.
Am I like shooting weapons or something? That is a prime example of a LeSabre.
Yeah, and I was gonna say,
I have junked very many of them.
I brought you a Ford truck with the proper Ford engine in it.
The bad thing about LeSabres is every troubled individual has had a LeSabre at one point, so they're rolling around on 3 donuts, the headliner's gone, it's got like 3 radios in it, but they're all in the back seat, and none of them fit the car. That's just kind of like
That's
LeSabre.
so true. Every time you open one of these up.
That or a Grand Am, Grand Prix.
And you know what? What's funny is I love those two. I love the Grand Prix a lot. But yeah, this should be a great car. 3800, perfect interior. Yeah.
It's ready to rock and roll.
Ready to rock and roll, just doesn't run.
Well,
that's
hey,
no problem.
that's never stopped me.
Nope, never stopped me either.
I mean, I never. Doesn't run.
Buying it. We got it unloaded. Now we got to pull this trailer forward. So. It's my car unloading stance.
That was strange.
Do you like it? Remember how I talked about this car being filled with ants? It's filled with all kinds of creatures. There's some ants, they're coming out of it. I just saw one climbing down the windshield. The animals are coming back. This job needs to be done very quickly. Yes, I know they're insects. Animals sounds cooler. So to work on the $300 Buick, I have something I've been looking forward to for a year at least. I've been wanting these. This is the Quickjack BL 7000 SLX. And if you don't know what Quickjacks are, well, I use them to lift the R8. I borrowed them from friends quite a few times to get cars up and down in this garage. And when you don't have a lift, and I really don't have the ceiling height for a lift, this is the move. So these are really cool. They are frames with a hydraulic cylinder, and it will allow me to lift any car in this shop, which is amazing, without having to worry about the ceiling. So I've wanted them forever. They're finally here. So let's get them open, lift this thing up, and hopefully fix it really, really fast, because I want it back out of my garage. Look at the ants. They're everywhere. And also it needs to go get scrubbed, completely scrubbed. I did take a rag and do a quick spot test, and all this is coming right off. So it's definitely easy to fix, but let's go. Here we go. Nope, missed. Come on. Cool. I think this just lifts off. Hey! Allergies and work, they don't go together. Well, I've never had my own Quickjacks. I thought these things came ready to roll, filled with hydraulic fluid, and you just plugged them in. There is some assembly required, so I was planning on just like throwing these under the car and lifting it, but I guess we'll make a quick video showing how to set these things up. So there's a 6mm plug right here on the hydraulic cylinder. Gotta take that off. And I know you usually have to put some air in here. So there's a Schrader valve that's gonna screw in there. And now I guess we come over here to the hose stash, and the short hoses go on the frames. There's 2 long ones, 2 short ones, and I think there's an elbow that has to go on first. Here we go, elbows. And it came with Teflon tape, that's kind of cool. We've got some quick disconnects that are gonna go on the pump right there, and quick disconnects that go on all the hoses. At least I have a bit of an idea how that all goes together, because I have used my friends. Little trick here, when you've got a battery that won't charge at all, I went ahead and opened the hood while I was working on the frames here. I'm not quite done setting those up, but I was like, man, we better get a charger on here, because I'm pretty sure that battery is gone. And it is, it's at 0 volts, and the charger doesn't want to charge. As you can see, my charger shows it's not connected. So we're gonna fake it. Let's see, we'll give it a little jump pack juice here, which will get the charger started. Okay, that worked out. I just connected the jump pack directly to the battery, and it came on, and now it is at least trying to charge. The car is also trying to like turn on all of its electrical stuff. The headlights came on. Luckily I got those to shut off. Hopefully this will give up and it'll charge the battery. So I've got this thing charging. You can see it says we've got 13% battery right there, which is definitely not good. That's probably like, I don't know, 8 volts, 10 volts. I don't know if this battery is actually gonna let us start this engine. But before we try that, first I just checked the oil. It was down at the bottom of the dipstick, so mediocre sign there. I went ahead and put a quart in it. That should nail that. And now I think it's time to see if this engine's free. So get this ratchet set up right here. And I don't really want to reach down to the crank pulley, so let's see if we can just use the alternate. Yeah, that works. Check it out. So it is free. Obviously we're moving the engine a lot less than we would if we were on the crank pulley, but you can definitely see the balancer turning down there, so that is a good sign. Step one, we get a good battery in this, no matter what it takes, and try to crank it. Now I've been told that a starter went in this car right before it got parked because it stopped starting the car. So it may have a new starter, but that starter may be bad, or it may be a starter that needs shimmed or something like that. Personally, it's probably just a bad part. If we can get a whole bunch of power on this car, we'll try to give it a crank and see where it goes. And maybe just the jump pack. Honestly, the jump pack will pretty much take care of anything. Jump pack on. Let's see. Oh, there's the car's headlights. And try to give it a crank here. Yep, that thing's not happy. It's not moving one bit. Okay, I just took my small ball peen hammer, snuck it down to where the starter is under the front of the engine there, and gave it a nice percussive massage. So something an F-250 does to you if you're driving it. Let's see what happens. This is just a no-go. I don't know if this is a power issue or what, but it's a no-go. And the Quickjacks are ready. I had to get hydraulic fluid and a couple other little things to make everything work out, but it did not take that long to set all this up. Honestly, it's probably 25 minutes to do all of it. You could probably do it faster, but you know, I took my time, made sure everything was done to perfection because I don't ever want to take these apart again. And I overfilled the hydraulic fluid reservoir. It says to leave a 1/2 inch gap, but obviously that's going to all fill the hoses, and it stays in these hoses because they have quick disconnects, as you can see throughout. And also the cylinder will have a little fluid in it too. So I filled it basically right to the top, and this first hit should fill the lines and make everything work out. So here we go. Did I do something wrong? Oh, just kidding, just kidding. It just needed a little time to fill the lines and everything like I thought. And then you're supposed to like let them all the way back down and make sure that the fluid's about a 1/2 inch below the top. But honestly, I bet it's perfect. So let's take a look at my lift. I think my lift looks good. I checked many times. Yep, they're both even equal, which is perfect. This should have no problem lifting this car. And make sure we're not gonna hit the garage door. Oh, this is so cool. We're not gonna hit the garage door, we're good. Good, good. Be right on the edge. Honestly, I might even buy the extensions for this so I can go higher. Well, that is absolutely perfect. And the perfect height to get under the front end of this and do the starter. So the starter is like right here. We should be good. I do need to go up one more, like just a tad, so that it'll click into the next lock. This is gonna make working on cars in here so much better. I'm so pumped. Also, in case you were worried, like, it's never moving. There's no way. The underbody tray here comes off with a 10 and a 7. It should be very easy. Sorry about the noise. That battery charger is super loud when it's rocking and rolling there. So, should only take a second here. Of course, that's how it always goes. There you go. That starter looks like it has basically never been touched. Well, I will say that was probably the easiest starter to get out of a car in my life. 2 15s, there's just 2 bolts that drop it off of the actual engine block, and then you'll need a 13 to pull the battery terminal, and a 10 to pull the actual start wire to the ignition there. So, what we need to do here is see if this thing runs on the ground and see if the Bendix engages. So the Bendix is actually contained right in here, and it flings out when this thing's trying to start, and it should mesh with the flywheel. So it's the actual gear drive itself. So I'll show you motor run. I'm sure the motor will run. Let's get our, that's gonna go to our frame there, our body of the starter. And this is the actual terminal to the motor. So I'll stand on this because these things get wild. See the motor run, here's it getting wild. I'll show you that. Jump right off the ground there. Okay, so now this is where the battery actually connects on the car. Let's see if I can make this happen. It's kind of a little tricky here. And now we can turn that on, nothing will happen. So that's normally how it is. And when you turn the key on a car, this is what happens. Sparks fly everywhere. Okay, I'll be able to hold on to it this time. There you go. You saw that thing fly out, and that should engage the flywheel. Now clearly something was very wrong with our setup here. I don't know if it's battery power or what it is, but this is one of the worst GM designs of all time. This has these stacked rubber terminals here. And this one looks like it runs down to the starter because it goes straight down. I bet it does. This one probably goes to the engine block, the ground, and then also the body with another wire. And then there's another one right here. This one powers the body. So, as you can see, none of this ever works right. It's probably the worst design ever, as I was saying. And I'm gonna have to take that apart and maybe replace this cable. I'm gonna assume this runs to the alternator. That's kind of cool. It still has a little cap that protects it. It goes under the engine cover, so it probably goes right to the alternator right there. Of course, that battery terminal's rounded all the way off too, so I had to use my knife X pliers / Craftsman Edition to get it loose. And of course, that's probably another reason it's making a bad connection. I can't even get it off of there. This is gonna take a bit, so I'll just sit here and keep going like this. The 5/16 wrench doesn't even fit. So I got this thing apart. I had to really yank on those things to separate the two cables that are stacked up there. I think that's our problem. I think that's the whole issue right there. It couldn't get tight and it's covered in corrosion. Let's see if I can just go get the bolt. A short trip with a much more reliable battery. I love this thing. What's up? Hello. You think you have one of these? That GM battery bolt from the era of terrible batteries. And we're gonna keep this from corroding again with a little battery terminal protector. So that should work out well. Thanks, Bryn.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks guys. Hey, brother. See if I can skate out of the store. Oh, nailed it. All right, let's get home. Well, boys and girls, if this works, we've fixed this car for $4. You don't get to count the $4 for this because this lasts forever. I'm just gonna use like 2 squirts of it. So that bolt may be the fix for the car. We've got our new terminal installed. I didn't use that spacer. The spacer would have taken too much out of there. I think obviously the long bolt is designed to use this if you don't have 2 cables. We do have 2 cables there. So that thing is cranked down. I probably tightened it too much just to be sure it would work, but let's get this starter back in the car, and I think the car's fixed for $4. I bet it doesn't run very well. It's been sitting for years. Moment of truth. Battery connected. Well, the jump pack is connected. Really need those headlights to turn off. Please crank. Oh, it cranked. We have succeeded. Now we just need a lot more battery power. Try number 2. Now the battery is connected with the jump pack. And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. You'll just have to wait till tomorrow to see if we fix this car for only $4. And you know what, there's more work to do to it anyway. So don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjaguar.com where you can get cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time.